Have you ever found yourself searching for that elusive, non-invasive way to feel better? Maybe boost your health or just step up your self-care game without like complex procedures or pharmaceuticals? If so, you are definitely not alone. There's this cutting-edge technology that's been quietly, well, maybe not so quietly anymore, gaining significant traction in the wellness world. And today we're taking a deep dive into exactly that. We're talking about red light therapy devices. Now, this tech isn't just growing, it's absolutely booming globally. So our mission for this deep dive is to cut through the noise. We want to extract the most important, actionable insights from a really detailed market analysis, give you a crystal clear, streamlined picture of this rapidly expanding industry. All our insights today come from excerpts from the Global Red Light Therapy Device Market Analysis by Cognitive Market Research. Okay, let's unpack this then. What exactly are red light therapy devices and, why are they suddenly popping up everywhere?
Right. So essentially, red light therapy devices are these non-invasive tools. They use very specific low-level wavelengths of red light. What makes them so impactful and why we're seeing this surge is how these lights interact with our bodies. It's quite fascinating, actually. They actually penetrate the skin right down to a cellular level.
To the cells themselves.
Exactly. And they promote cellular regeneration, significantly improve circulation, and help reduce inflammation. It's a really targeted approach to healing and wellness that, works from the inside out. It offers a more natural path to support the body's own healing processes.
Wow. And it seems like these devices have a truly impressive range of uses, doesn't it? The source mentions they're being widely adopted across quite a few areas.
Oh, absolutely. The applications are incredibly broad, which is
Yeah.
definitely a major driver of their popularity. We're seeing them used extensively in skincare.
Skin, right, like anti-aging.
Yes, tackling everything from anti-aging concerns to improving overall skin tone and texture. And then there's pain management, which is huge, offering a compelling non-pharmaceutical option for chronic aches, joint stiffness, that sort of thing.
A non-drug option, yeah. People are looking for that.
They really are. And they're also proving remarkably effective in accelerating wound healing. Plus, they've become a huge hit for muscle recovery, especially among athletes, or really anyone engaged in regular physical activity who wants to bounce back faster.
So, okay, with all these varied and frankly compelling uses, what's really fueling this market growth?
Sure.
What are the big underlying currents pushing these devices from, say, niche to mainstream?
Well, what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how these devices tap into a broader, kind of fundamental shift in consumer behavior. We're moving squarely towards self-managed wellness solutions.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So a primary driver is the increasing consumer awareness of non-pharmaceutical therapeutic options. People are actively seeking out alternatives.
Right? Alternatives to traditional medicine for everyday stuff.
It's exactly for everyday ailments and general wellness goals, prioritizing natural and less invasive methods. And complementing this is the significant growth of home-use medical devices, empowering individuals to take a more proactive role in their own health, right from their homes.
Doing it yourself, basically.
Pretty much. And finally, the expansion of general wellness trends, with a greater focus on preventative care and holistic approaches, has really set the perfect stage for red light therapy to thrive. It's really a confluence of factors creating this robust demand.
It makes complete sense that people are looking for more accessible, effective ways to feel better at home, without needing a prescription sometimes. And when we look at the sheer numbers for this market, wow, it really paints a remarkable picture of substantial growth. Just how significant are we talking?
It certainly does. The overall global market valuation shows a, truly remarkable trajectory. According to the Cognitive Market Research Analysis, the market was valued at around $273 million back in 2021.
Okay, $273 million.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It's projected to grow to over $380 million by 2025.
Wow, quite a jump in just 4 years.
And then, looking further out, it's expected to more than double from its 2021 valuation, hitting a substantial $741 million by 2033.
$741 million. That's a staggering leap from under $300 million to nearly $750 million in just over a decade.
So what does this level of accelerated growth tell us about the confidence in this technology? Is it a steady climb or something more like explosive?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this kind of consistent growth isn't just about rising sales numbers. It really signals a fundamental shift in how consumers view self-care. The report highlights a robust compound annual growth rate, or CAGR.
CAGR, right?
Yeah, of about 8.7% during the forecast period. Now, if you're wondering what CAGR really means, Think of it as the smoothed out average yearly growth rate. It paints a picture of consistent, steady expansion, not just, erratic spikes.
Okay, so steady, strong growth year over year. Exactly. It's a strong indicator that this market's momentum is built to last, showing strong demand and adoption year after year.
That's a powerful growth story for the whole market. But if we zoom in a bit, where exactly is this wellness revolution happening fastest? Let's take a closer look at the key regions leading the charge across the globe.
Okay, let's start with North America. It's undeniably the powerhouse in this market.
Figured as much.
Yeah. It accounted for over $108 million in 2021. And it's projected to more than double to nearly $285 million by 2033.
285 million. Wow.
The United States leads the charge, no surprise there, making up the lion's share of that revenue. But Canada and Mexico are also showing really robust, consistent growth. It just underscores the region's strong adoption, likely driven by, higher disposable income and a pretty established wellness culture.
That's a strong showing for North America. Definitely a clear leader. But what about Europe? Are there any surprising patterns or maybe unique drivers when we shift focus there?
Europe holds a significant piece of the pie, though, yeah, smaller than North America, starting at around $78 million in 2021.
78 million. Okay.
Its market is expected to more than double as well, hitting over $203 million by 2033. Countries like Germany, France, and Russia are major contributors, showing substantial growth. The UK, Italy, Spain, they're also seeing steady expansion.
So pretty widespread across Europe, too.
It is, yeah. What's interesting here is that widespread adoption across diverse European economies. It really indicates a broad acceptance of these at-home wellness solutions.
Okay. From Europe, let's take our deep dive over to Asia Pacific. That's a market that often holds its own unique surprises and sometimes really rapid accelerations. What's the story there?
Asia Pacific presents a really fascinating growth story. It's projected to nearly triple from its $51 million valuation in 2021
$51 million.
to over $156 million by 2033.
Tripling. Wow.
Yeah. China and Japan are leading the charge, which, isn't entirely surprising given their economic scale and focus on technology. However, India is showing particularly dynamic growth. It's expected to nearly quadruple its market size by 2033.
Quadruple. That's huge.
It really is. It suggests a burgeoning middle class and increasing health consciousness driving demand in some of the world's most populous nations. And then you've got smaller but still growing markets like South Korea, Singapore, Australia. They're also contributing to this region's overall momentum.
Right. And what about South America, the Middle East, and Africa? Are these regions also catching this red light therapy wave, or are we seeing different trends there?
The growth is indeed global, though, yeah, at varying paces.
Yeah.
South America, while smaller, is projected to almost triple its market. It was around $18.5 million in 2021,
18.5.
growing to over $55 million by 2033. Brazil is the clear leader there, accounting for a significant chunk and showing robust growth. Countries like Argentina and Colombia are also seeing strong increases.
Okay, so growth there too. And the Middle East?
In the Middle East, the market was valued at around $9.8 million in 2021. It's expected to more than double to nearly $23 million by 2033. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey are key contributors here. It reflects a growing interest in modern wellness practices in the region.
Interesting. And Africa?
And finally, Africa. Starting smaller, around $6 million in 2021. The market is set to nearly triple to over $17 million by 2033.
Yeah.
South Africa and Nigeria are leading the way there, suggesting an increasing penetration of health-conscious consumer goods in these emerging markets. So yeah, it's clear this isn't just a trend confined to, the traditional economic powerhouses. It's really a truly global phenomenon.
So, okay, we've seen these really compelling numbers, these trends across continents. What does all of this mean for us, the consumers, and maybe the broader future of health technology?
Well, this raises an important question, doesn't it? Beyond the impressive numbers, how does the widespread adoption of red light therapy truly reflect these evolving consumer preferences for health and self-care? It really points to a broader acceptance of non-invasive, accessible therapeutic options. People aren't just looking for quick fixes anymore, I don't think.
Right, they want something sustainable.
Exactly. They're seeking sustainable at-home solutions that, integrate into their lifestyles.
Okay, so to recap then, we've taken a deep dive into the red light therapy device market. We've uncovered how these non-invasive tools offer benefits across a whole range of applications: skincare, pain management, wound healing, muscle recovery. And the market is seeing really significant global growth, projected to more than double hitting nearly $750 million in less than a decade and a half from that 2021 number. This boom is clearly driven by increasing consumer awareness, the rise of home use medical devices, and just the overall expansion of wellness trends. Hopefully, this deep dive has given you a shortcut to understanding a rapidly expanding area of health and wellness, offering some specific distilled insights backed by, concrete data to show these powerful trends.
Absolutely. And it's clear that people are increasingly seeking out methods for personal health management that are both effective and, crucially, conveniently integrated into their daily lives. The story isn't just about the devices themselves, really, but the shift in mindset they represent.
So, maybe something to think about. How could this accelerating shift towards accessible at-home therapeutic devices, like red light therapy, fundamentally change our personal health management strategies in the years to come? Putting powerful wellness tools directly into your hands. So, you've probably seen the buzz around red light therapy or
Oh,
RLT,
definitely.
those sleek masks, the handheld wands, those full body panels. They seem to be popping up everywhere, social media feeds, high-end spas.
They really are.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into this rapidly transforming RLT device market.
Right.
Our mission is really to cut through the noise,
Uh,
to unpack how this market is evolving, what's genuinely fueling its, impressive growth, and also what hurdles it's still facing. So you walk away, really understanding it.
yeah, and it's more than just a fad, I think. The shift we're seeing here is pretty significant.
How so?
Well, it reflects these broader changes in how we're all approaching wellness, maybe even personal health care. So this deep dive, it's kind of a shortcut to understanding a sector that's, well, it's growing fast,
Okay.
and it touches on health, technology, and, fundamental consumer behavior all at once.
Okay, let's get right into what's driving this glow then. Beyond just anti-aging,
Hmm.
the real game changer seems to be how RLT fits with this whole proactive wellness idea.
Exactly.
We're seeing consumers, maybe especially millennials and Gen Z, really investing in preventative, sort of holistic self-care.
That's a huge trend.
And social media, personal grooming trends, they're definitely pushing us towards non-surgical options, right?
Sure.
RLT fits that philosophy perfectly. It targets things like acne, fine lines, inflammation, even pigmentation issues.
Yeah, it's about fundamental improvement, not
Yeah.
just covering things up.
Right.
And the brilliance of RLT isn't just that it works, but, how it works.
Explain that a bit.
So we're talking about specific wavelengths of light. These actually penetrate different skin layers.
Okay.
And they stimulate things like collagen production, cellular regeneration. It's tapping into the body's own natural processes.
At a cellular level.
Precisely. It's kind of a paradigm shift for non-invasive treatments. Plus, it's painless, non-invasive, and this is important. It boasts clinically validated results.
That validation is key, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
huge draw for anyone seeking real change without, the downtime or discomfort of other procedures.
And you combine that scientific backing with another big factor, rising disposable income.
Mm-hmm.
People seem increasingly willing to invest in these devices, whether it's at home or in a clinic.
Yeah, because they see the long-term benefits without the sometimes prohibitive cost or recovery time of traditional cosmetic procedures.
It makes a pretty compelling economic argument for, sustained self-care.
It really does. And expanding on that, a massive accelerator here has been technology. Just pure technological advancement.
How so? More powerful lights.
Well, yes, but it's more than that. It's not just making devices more effective. It's about making them incredibly user-friendly,
Yeah.
deeply integrated into our lives.
Okay, like smart features.
Exactly. Imagine an AI-integrated app that actually learns from your skin's response.
Wow.
It could dynamically adjust wavelengths, treatment times. It's almost like having a personalized dermatologist guiding every session.
That's pretty futuristic.
It's happening now. And beyond that, we're seeing smart sensors for optimal light delivery, adjustable wavelengths for targeting specific issues, ergonomic designs, and really portable builds that fit into busy lifestyles.
Yeah, those portable ones are everywhere. What I find particularly compelling are some of the specific companies really pushing things forward.
Like who?
Well, take Joav and Lightstim. They've developed these modular and compact therapy panels, stuff that used to be clinic only. Now you can have it in your living room.
Right, bringing it home.
And then there's Zerigo Health. Their stuff is fascinating. IoT-enabled phototherapy ecosystems.
So connected devices.
Yeah, allowing for clinical-grade treatment for chronic conditions like eczema, psoriasis, but from home.
That ability to bring hospital-level care into daily life,
Yeah.
that is a genuine game changer.
It really is.
So, okay, with all these incredible advancements, these amazing devices,
Mm-hmm.
what's holding back even wider adoption? There must be hurdles.
Definitely.
And the primary one, probably no surprise, is the high initial cost of the devices.
It's still expensive, huh?
Yeah, premium RLT devices, the ones with all the advanced features, the sophisticated design, sometimes complex manufacturing, they can be a significant investment,
Right.
especially for, average consumers or in regions where discretionary income might be lower.
And it's not just the sticker price, is it? I mean, the challenge gets worse when you look at things like limited reimbursement options
Exactly.
or just general affordability gaps, particularly in, say, public healthcare systems. It makes it hard for a lot of people to access this tech, even if it's beneficial.
Precisely. Now, manufacturers are actively looking at solutions.
Like what?
Well, cost reduction strategies, trying to scale production more efficiently, forming strategic partnerships maybe, all aimed at reducing those end-user prices.
Makes sense.
But for now, cost does remain a key barrier, especially outside maybe the more affluent or medically aware consumer groups.
Okay, so if high cost is a barrier, it's fascinating how the market is sort of simultaneously booming because of another trend, the explosion of at-home devices.
Right. It's a bit of a paradox.
This shift away from always going to the clinic, which, let's face it, got a huge push from COVID-19 restrictions,
Oh, absolutely.
led to this increased reliance on portable, user-friendly devices you can just use yourself. Is that really where the biggest changes are happening?
I'd say it's definitely one of the biggest drivers right now.
Yeah.
The benefits for the consumer are just immense.
Convenience.
Unparalleled convenience, yeah. And significant long-term savings compared to going back for repeated clinic visits.
True.
So now we're seeing this truly diverse range of at-home RLT products. Everything
Yeah.
from, targeted face masks
Bros.
to ergonomic handheld wands, wraparound panels for larger areas.
Lots of options.
And for the tech-savvy user, they often come loaded with features like preset treatment modes, connectivity to mobile apps, adjustable intensity levels. It really puts the control in your hands.
This sounds like it slots perfectly into that growing preference for, like, DIY self-care routines,
It really does.
making at-home RLT a really powerful subsegment within the whole wellness market.
Totally. And you mentioned COVID-19. While the pandemic did initially disrupt supply chains for a bit,
Right, like everything else.
it ultimately gave this market a substantial, almost unforeseen boost.
How so?
Well, as consumers found themselves stuck at home, they started actively seeking solutions. For stress, for skin damage maybe from wearing masks constantly.
Ah, mask relief.
Yeah, and just overall wellness. The demand for at-home RLT devices just soared. It fundamentally shifted consumer behavior towards self-managed therapies in a way probably nothing else could have that quickly.
And companies responded fast. I noticed many ramped up their e-commerce, launched new product lines.
And leverage telehealth, too.
Right, for guidance on how to use the devices properly. Med Technologies, with their Omnilux Contour,
Good example.
and Lightstim, with the Ellipsa, they rapidly expanded their offerings with more portable models, integrated LED therapies. It feels like they're trying to support skin rejuvenation and work with other beauty devices, too.
Synergies.
Yeah, my bathroom counter is starting to look less like a medicine cabinet and more like a high-tech spa.
I hear that. And what's really compelling here is just how vibrant and rapidly expanding the competitive landscape is.
Lots of players.
Yeah, key players like Philips NV, Biophotos with their Soluma devices,
Heard of them?
Jove, Lightstim again, Zerigo Health. They're really leading the charge, constantly innovating, emphasizing flexibility, advanced wavelengths, medical-grade efficacy, trying to bring real clinical results to the consumer.
And we're seeing some really clever integrated solutions, too, aren't we?
Definitely. Like what?
Like Lightstim's Ellipsa integrating with the hydrofacial system.
Yes, that's smart.
It's a brilliant synergistic play, right? The hydrofacial cleanses and preps the skin.
Creates the perfect canvas.
Exactly. So the RLT can penetrate better, stimulate regeneration more effectively. You get results maybe neither could achieve quite as well alone, especially in a pro setting.
Makes perfect sense.
Then there's Zerigo Health's 2.0 platform.
Right.
It's not just a UVB light device. It combines that with a digital interface for remote psoriasis management.
So offering truly holistic care, digitally connected.
Yeah.
And beyond the big names, we're also seeing new entrants, nimble startups making waves.
Oh, yeah. How?
Often by targeting niche segments. Maybe differentiating with more affordable devices or focusing on sustainability or building in smart features, catering specifically to, say, eco-conscious consumers or those looking for value.
That diversification is healthy for the market.
It really is.
That actually leads perfectly into another trend that feels increasingly important. This convergence of sustainability and personal wellness.
Yes, huge.
Consumers today, they want products that deliver results, obviously, but also align with their environmental and ethical values.
Absolutely. It's not just about efficacy anymore.
So we're seeing a rise in rechargeable devices, low-waste packaging, responsibly sourced materials, ESG principles, environmental, social governance.
Hmm.
They're becoming a real differentiation strategy, aren't they? Especially for premium brands wanting to signal responsibility.
It's becoming table stakes. For many consumers, particularly in certain demographics, they expect it.
So, wrapping this all up for you listening, the red light therapy device market is clearly poised for, well, pretty robust long-term growth.
It's somewhat undeniable.
We've seen how it's driven by these powerful wellness trends, incredible tech innovations, and just surging consumer demand for convenient, non-invasive solutions. It's a really dynamic space.
Yeah, and if you think about the bigger picture, this market truly reflects broader shifts in consumer health attitudes, the rapid adoption of new tech, the whole evolving self-care movement.
It's a microcosm of bigger changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Understanding this niche actually offers a fantastic lens into the future of personal wellness and maybe even medical technology as a whole.
So here's a final thought to mull over. As this technology keeps making advanced therapies more accessible, more affordable, how might RLT devices integrate even further into our daily routines? Could they potentially start blurring the lines between what we think of as cosmetic care and actual medical treatment?
That's a really interesting question. Where does wellness end and medicine begin?
Something to think about until our next deep dive.